All right, so this is a conduct process overview. Accountability in the Greek community. As a new member, the conduct/accountability process for our community here at Georgia Southern may seem confusing. However, knowing where to go and who to report an incident to is important knowledge for all of us to have. Breaking down the judicial/conduct process for each level of authority makes it much easier for us to wrap our heads around. Whether it be at the chapter level, IFC level, university level, or national level, they are all relatively straightforward. Chapter level process. It is safe to say that every IFC chapter has some sort of judicial or conduct process. Usually, when an incident occurs at the chapter level, it's reported to the president of that chapter or somebody else on the exec board. And from here, the chapter's executive board will call for a judicial hearing with whomever the incident involved. And after learning all the facts of the incident during that, the judicial board will deliberate and determine whether or not any violations of the chapter's constitution or bylaws have occurred and reach a conclusion. And then from there, sanctions, fines, penalties, suspensions, etc., will be placed on whomever the judicial board determines was at fault in the incident. The type of incidents that are handled at the chapter level usually happen when members conduct themselves in a way that reflects poorly on the chapter. When this happens, it is only handled within the chapter, not IFC or the school or anything. And the sanctions, penalties, fines, suspensions are enforced by the chapter, not any other governing councils. All right, IFC level process. The IFC judicial process is pretty straightforward. When a violation of the IFC constitution and or bylaws occurs, it is reported to IFC. Incidents can be reported through email, face-to-face, the anonymous tip line, or the Georgia Southern incident reporting form. After IFC receives the report, the VP of Standards will gather all the facts and then call for a judicial hearing with the chapter or chapters in which the incident involved. After learning all the facts, the judicial board will deliberate and determine whether or not any violation of the IFC's constitution or bylaws have occurred and reach a conclusion. Then sanctions, penalties, fines, suspensions, etc., will be placed on the chapters that the judicial board determines was at fault. The reports that IFC receives and handles usually involved unregistered events, hazing, inappropriate behavior at events, etc. The sanctions, penalties, fines, suspensions that result from a judicial hearing are placed on the chapter as a whole, not individual chapter members. And if IFC believes it is necessary, IFC can report the incident to the national fraternity. All right, national level process. The national fraternity receives reports when major incidents occur. These incidents can include hazing, injury, or death on a chapter property, poor risk management practices, breaking local or state laws, and stuff like that. And from here, the national fraternity can place sanctions, penalties, fines, suspensions, all that on the chapter, or they can place that chapter on probation, or they can take that chapter. University level process. So the Georgia Southern Office of Student Conduct receives reports of incidents involving Georgia Southern students. This includes members of the Greek community as well as non-members of the Greek community. The student conduct process is broken down pretty straightforward on the next slide. So an incident's reported to the office, and then an appointment set up. And from there, the student meets with the conduct officer. If the student accepts all the charges and doesn't want to dispute, then the conduct officer decides sanctioning. And then if they do want to dispute it and have a formal hearing, the case will go to the hearing officer, and then it's decided by the conduct board. And then obviously campus and local police. Obviously, if a chapter as a whole or if an individual member is breaking any local or state laws, law enforcement can be involved. So pretty much if you witness an incident take place that you know is wrong, reporting it is the best thing you can do. Whether that be to the chapter, IFC, or nationals, we all must hold each other accountable in order to improve our community as a whole.